Dogecoin broke to the downside this morning, right here. And I was kind of watching it. I was hoping that we can form this little triangle pattern, stay in there, form a top, and break to the upside, and then continue to our target. But we actually broke that support trend line, which I was watching. We had support and support. I'm on the 1 hour time frame. I don't think we had this in our last video, but I'm watching this trend line right here. We broke that going to the downside. Once we broke this, that was a signal, but I was kind of also thinking, I was looking at this previous bottom right here, and I was thinking once we break that then that'll be a signal that we're probably going to come down to at least, or maybe the Fibonacci retracement level sitting at 0.18859 again, and these previous tops right here sitting at 0.19177, and that's basically where we've been trading at now. We're kind of trading on that support line. We went below it and kind of going in between it, or in and out of it. So the next thing I'm watching is this Fibonacci retracement level at 0.18859. If we zoom out and go to the 4 hour time frame, that'll kind of give us a better idea. We had this big uptrend like this. We started getting resistance. We set up the Fibonacci retracement levels from the bottom to the top of this trend, from the bottom to the top. Then we can have levels to buy the dip on. And I bought right here the 38% level and the 50% level. And that's what I'm watching right now is the 38% level. Let's see if we could get a bounce right here, or if we come back down to this next level sitting at 0.1754, the 50% level, hopefully we get a bounce there. Or there's this previous bottom down here sitting at 0.16916. Those are the next levels that I'm watching going to the downside. Actually, well, we have to break this little level right here too. There is some support right here. It'd be funny if it just bounced and came out right now, but those are the next places that I have my limit orders. I took a little bit of profit here. It wasn't really that great. I should have, done it up here, or when we first broke that target, or when we first broke the trend, really, because from where I only got like a couple percent. It was like only like a little more than like 2% or something. It was, let's see, where am I at? Okay, so if we drag from my position to around, it was like 3% or something. It was a little bit late because I actually was watching it and then I fell asleep, and then it had this big candle going to the downside. So I pretty much took profits here, and then I set up my limit order again so I didn't have to like worry about it anymore, since it does seem like we're trending to the downside. And I guess we could set up some downtrends. So let's go ahead and delete these because we don't really need this one. This one's still support that we're pretty much watching, but we have a top and a top, resistance, resistance, and then we had resistance going down like that. That's also maybe something like this. And then, okay, so now we have some downtrends that we watch. If we break this trend line going to the upside, I mean, we have to still let it form. Let's see what it does. But if we break this going to the upside, that might be another change in direction, and this support line might hold support and be able to push us out and then come up to this previous top right here. Let's drag this out. So it's possible if we break through here, we could be bouncing in something like this. That's very possible. But like I said, my limit orders are to the downside right now, because if we look on the 4 hour time frame, those red candles look pretty strong in my opinion. I mean, this chart's been kind of moving in the smaller time frames anyways, so I don't know, it's hard to say. But those red candles, and then we're underneath the 4 hour 9 moving average right here, that is also bearish. So I don't know. I don't think it's unreasonable to think that it might come down to this level again at 0.18859. And I think if we break this one again, we might get like bigger candles like this one going to the downside. Or I mean, I think the next level to be looking at after that, if we get bearish, would be 0.17626. And then the previous bottom down here as well. But let's cross these two bridges first, and then we can kind of look at it. But yeah, I think it looks like we're kind of forming a resistance. Got a little bit of support and traded for a while. Looks like we're getting resistance, and if we get pushed down, then this will set up this trend line. And then if we come back into it, we might expect it to maybe push us down. But if we can break that, then that might be and we could also, I've also been looking at this chart on like the 5-minute time frame too, which is kind of interesting. I mean, it's this, like I said, this chart's moving fast. So you could, when like it's moving fast like that, you could actually bump it up to the lower time frames and you can start seeing things even a little bit better. I mean, not better, but a little bit just zoomed in, and you can see more basically of the action. But yeah, I would say something like that. The 1 hour has been pretty solid on this chart, actually, on Dogecoin, in my opinion. The daily and the 4 hour are always good to get another idea of what it looks like. If we go to the 4 hour underneath that 9 moving average, if we go to the daily, it looks like we're actually testing on the daily though. See, that's why I like looking at these different time frames. Right at this level, at that 18859 level, if we bounce, then we'll actually be bouncing on that 9 moving average. But if we break below it, then we could definitely be hitting these levels, or even possibly below it. But yeah, like we'll have to cross those bridges when we get there. So let's take a look at the 1 hour, and we're in a downtrend right now. If we break this downtrend going to the upside, then maybe we're changing direction and we could come back up to this 203.88 level. Or it's funny because we didn't exactly hit my target, but this came all the way up almost perfectly to that red line, to that Fibonacci 23% level. If you would have had a limit order right there, it might have got filled. If you would have put it a little bit lower, I don't really like doing sell limit orders, but I mean, this would have been a good, I don't really like calling the top like that, but yeah, just showing you that it came like perfectly up to that level and then came down, or it's coming down anyways. It looks like it's coming down. Let's see if we can hit this next one, and then the next one, and so forth. I think that's the main thing that I was kind of looking at. It was getting kind of tricky this morning. I wasn't really sure if it was going to go to the upside or if it was going to go to the downside. I was trying to give it the benefit of the doubt, and watching this little pattern, I was hoping that it'd be like a little flag pattern, as I talked about on my last video, where we get that little run up and then we get a little consolidation and then it pushes, and it actually did break out of that pattern that I was talking about as well, because I was looking at a 5-minute time frame. We had this little bull flag pattern or bull pennant, a little run up, then consolidation, and then it actually broke out right here and went up to that Fibonacci retracement level. So yeah, those are the things that I'm looking at. I'm mainly looking at that downtrend now. Let's see if we could break that. We could actually probably adjust it maybe a little bit like this, do it all the way to the wicks. Let's see if it really pushes down or if it keeps going sideways though, because you could also argue it already kind of formed something with this resistance and it broke it going sideways right here. But if it's still pushing down, then we can move this over. Like if it starts pushing down, then I feel like that's especially when you look at it on the 1 hour time frame, like it needs some time to like develop. So yeah. Let's see if we could come down and hit these next targets. Next one is .18859. After that, .17619. All right. If you guys liked the video, hit the thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next one.